and then question and answer sessions, and then we will have concluding remarks. So this is the second session now. We will begin our second session quickly. I invite our esteemed resource person, Professor Mahajan sir, who is a professor and dean of Management and Commerce Department of Bagalkot University Social University Kolhapur. I welcome him. Sir, please come and take charge. I request all the audience to come forward, come front, please occupy front seats. If you sit like this, leaving front seats by it will be very not encouraging for us. Now, please come forward. People sitting at the back side, come forward quickly. Sir,
please come forward, please come seats.
occupy front seats quickly. Come quick, don't waste time, please. Come and occupy front seats quickly. Sir, you may start.
We are here for the session, especially on GST reforms and MSME performance, competitiveness and entrepreneurship. That is the session. And at the beginning, I should thank the organizers, especially Professor Mallikarjun and other authorities of Bagalkot University, Jamkhandi, the Department of Studies in Commerce. Right from the morning, we are discussing different aspects of GST, and it is very difficult to retain ourselves attentive after lunch session when a very good, delicious and nutritious food has been given. Even though give to gain, that was the message given by Professor Meena Chandavarkar on the occasion of just celebrated Women's Day, and this topic is also very important, which is always neglected like women. As you know, in the Indian society, women is always neglected. In the same manner, MSME is always neglected, though their contribution is worthy. If you can see, what is the contribution of that MSME, micro, small, medium enterprises? This categorization was made by the Act enacted in 2006. If you look at the advanced country like Japan, total economy is based on micro enterprises or small enterprises, and they can become developed country. That is the lesson for many other emerging economies like India. And in our country also, we can see why we are discussing here MSME. That this Bagalkot University has taken out focus on MSMEs. When GST is there, but focusing on MSME. Why it is so? Because MSME has an importance. if you want to make inclusive development, the path is going from micro enterprises. Because beginning of any business is in the stage of micro enterprise. They may be in different forms, but the micro enterprises have definite vital role in economy like India. You may see that a recent statistics shows us what is the role of MSMEs in Indian economy. That is 7.69 crore enterprises are registered as MSMEs at present. And what is their contribution to our GDP? That is 31%, 31.1% likewise. Similarly, we look into the deep dive of this data. Very important statistics is there. Nearly 50% contribution to export is made by MSMEs. That is 48.58%. As far as employment is concerned, which is a big issue before Indian economy, MSME is contributing to this matter, and 32.82 crore individuals got employment through MSMEs. And one more interesting thing is that out of all MSMEs, 90% are micro enterprises. That is again important thing. It means only 10% are medium and small enterprises, and 90% are micro enterprises among MSMEs. With considering this, all entities in the vicinity of ourselves as a general public, all type of enterprises are coming in with MSMEs as micro enterprises. They may be grocery shop, any retail shop, likewise. So this is the problem, or whatever the issue what we are discussing is the issue of all of us. That is the importance of this particular topic, and that's why this has been taken for discussion. One more statistics is important here. One government of India, what it has given, the Self-Reliant Bharat Fund is one of the fund raised, out of which this fund is invested 15,442 crores in 682 MSMEs. That is again importance given to MSMEs we can observe, and this statistics is by 2025. So this is very important for us for discuss this issue. Then GST reforms, what is done, as it is already discussed, many things which are discussed I will skip, and then I will go for the next point. Here you can try to understand these digital shifts are already discussed by the Tamrakunti madam, so I will not focus on it. Just can you give me that remote pointer? Okay. So we can go ahead. See, input that compliance rating system is also discussed by madam. That because of that rating, they can have a benefit of compliances. One more important thing that you can see here, that impact of GST reforms on MSME performance will be having access to finance. What access to finance? That banks now integrate the GST compliance data into loan underwriting. And because of that, if you are compliant with the GST requirements, your loan procedure will be easy. So that we can take into consideration. Accordingly, they will in future, I think they will consider this in credit appraisal process also, because higher ranking and lower ranking is to be considered for that purpose. In future, it will not be only a CIBIL score or other scores sufficient, because on the basis of only their balances or activities on a bank account, that will not be sufficient. What is the efficiency of a particular micro enterprise? That may be individual activities of the bank account. So many other things are to be seen in the future for credit appraisal. Then supplier relationship also matters, and there will be impact that the large buyers prefer compliant vendors to avoid ITC blocking on their end, because you know in GST that seller and buyer on their own ends, the GST is important. If they are properly registered, they are not blocked, then hassle-free process is possible. And that's why when a particular vendor is selected, at that time it is prominently or it is preferred to see whether his account is not blocked. It is continued. So that trust and efficiency can be seen through this GST process, all elements of GST process. That is also possible. Next, please. So software integration, that is also discussed by Madam. Go ahead. Navigating dispute resolution, that is also discussed by Chandavardhan Madam and Tamrumundi Madam. Just see the roadmap which was given for reforms. What was the shift from this complex 4-tier to 3-tier system of GST, and how it will increase the efficiency of the system, that is the concern. As you know, as per my opinion, the very much successful system in our country is income tax system. Because if you want, generally, if a salaried person or individual person, when they want to fill the return, it has made very hassle-free system and zero physical document. You may be surprised, because in the Indian situation, everywhere if you see digitalization, people are saying that we have made digitalization, and there is one note: you please submit the hard copy. What is the use of that? So I think that's why I am saying income tax is successful system. So in the same manner, in GST reforms, they have taken into consideration how it is to be made fully digitized. So this goal that fewer rate is there, enhanced transparency. This is again a very important thing, that easier to understand tax liabilities. You can understand your tax liability. Reduce the litigation is also possible by these reforms, because as far as when you make it easy, then it will be having reduced the litigations. Next, please. These are the strategies for this reform to be made. Next. So I would like to put before you the exact things regarding our main topic, what is given for this session, that is GST reform, MSME performance, competitiveness and entrepreneurship. Now, the GST reform is already discussed. What is MSME's performance? How it can be contributed to it? See that GST reforms is reducing the cost of MSMEs. How it is reducing? On two parts. One, compliance cost is reduced, And another thing that GST rates are reduced. So overall cost structure can be at reduced level. Only thing is that what is the strategy developed by MSMEs themselves, whether to scale up their scale or take the benefit within the value. That is the important. If they are restricted to take the undue benefit of the cost structure, they will limit their sale. But if they reduce their prices and they go ahead, then they can scale up sale and increase the business. So, business growing strategy is possible on the basis of GST reforms that at micro level MSMEs can take up. Another thing is that you see if the rates across automobile, food processing, apparel, logistics, handicrafts, and they are going to strengthen the supply chain of these units. How it is? You can see when the tax benefit is there, the cost structure will reduce, and you can have also even if you keep your profit scale in the same manner, the price can be reduced. That strategy can be implemented, but in general we observe that the benefit of tax reform is not delivered to the customer. In general, the enterprises, they are mostly taking the benefit of these particular reforms, and that's why you can see if you are transforming the benefits of GST reforms to the customers, you can increase your customer value. That is an important concern that should be discussed all the times when the GST reforms are discussed. One more thing is that, especially for women and entrepreneurs in informal sector, there will be pushed by GST reforms. That may be the hurried comment made by me, but this may be a topic for our research. In future, we can undertake research whether the women in informal sector are getting the benefit of GST reform, or the entrepreneurs in informal sector are they getting the benefit of it. So, in that case, how they are taking the benefit, that is again important. And for that purpose, the capacity building of such entrepreneurs in informal sector, especially micro enterprises, is very much needed at government level, especially the GST departments should undertake, or they can give seminars to colleges and universities to conduct on GST, and they can make this system familiar to the entrepreneurs and micro enterprises. That may not be seminar, but it may be workshop, because hands-on training can be given to the micro enterprises and the women especially working in informal sector. With considering this, again the important thing what I told you is self-reliant fund has been invested in micro enterprises or MSMEs. Why it is so? Because when Honorable Prime Minister always discussing about Viksit Bharat at 2047, without considering maximum population, it is not possible. So, with considering inclusive policies, that we are considering women and the enterprises or entrepreneurs in informal sector, most of them are involved, or the marginalized sectors are involved, marginalized groups are involved in these sectors or micro enterprises, and because of that we can say these reforms can advance the vision of Vikasit Bharat by making it self-reliant, globally competitive, and inclusive Viksit Bharat. How it is? It is not only the slogan. How it is? You can understand. A small unit in one of the districts of Maharashtra growing roses, and exporting it to Western countries on 14th February. It's micro enterprise. How it can get benefit? As you have observed there in Madam's presentation, for export specifically, the subsidies, you can say in the tax levies are there, or GST reforms benefits they can take. Such a small producers, farmers, they can get the benefit from GST reforms. So it is not only with the traders, but everybody who is selling, they can get the benefit of GST, and not only the goods but services also. So with considering this, even Madam has covered the sector-wise distribution. So I will not go into detail because that sector-wise distribution is especially from the MSMEs, because maximum contribution in specific sector is given by MSMEs, maybe taken as a automobile or transport. You can see the assembly main producer, manufacturer is in large or medium scale, but the ancillaries are in micro and small enterprise. So automobile and transport is also to contribute in this, and they are also to get the benefit of it. And input credit is also to be given to them. Then very important thing is food processing and dairy. That's all over India, that the very small units, micro units, they are contributing through food and this dairy units. So even you can see the specialized foods are considered separately. For example, diabetic food is considered by GST reforms, because number of diabetic people is increasing in India largely, and that's why they have considered that earlier it was 12%, now it is 5% GST on diabetic food. So this type of consideration has been taken into account. And even you may surprise, diabetic fruits are also considered. That for that also from 12% to 5% reduction has been made. So this minutely they have considered this matter, that it also to contribute indirectly to the health of the people. Even some most of the medicines are given 0% GST, but few of them have 5%. And it shows that the importance is given to health. Similarly, whatever it is given in different matters, that textile, apparel and leather, most of the traditional workers and you can say artisans are involved in this sector. That is also taken into consideration, and that's why it is reduced from 12% to 5%. Another consideration is of export, because textile is a major sector which is exporting right from our pre-dependence era. So you can see then housing and construction material is also taken into consideration. Cement has reduced from 28% to 18%. And you can see the importance how it is given to the particular items in that area. So handicrafts, again it is considered. If you can see handicrafts, they are reduced from 12% to 5%. It is promotion to the artisans. The same thing is with the toys and sports goods. Like many places in Karnataka, Goa and Savatwadi, they will take the benefit of
production.
yes, yes. And indigenous artisans are there for their things. Then one more thing is tourism and hospitality. Why we should discuss this matter? Because it is one more service sector after IT for Indian economy can contribute to GDP. Because service sector is majorly contributing to GDP, and after IT we have this tourism and hospitality, because over a period of AI age we may lose our role in IT. That is, you can say, the prediction made that there will be very big impact on IT sector because of AI. And so we have to take into consideration this hotels means micro enterprises in hotels, like below 75,000 per day sales. They will get the GST 5%. That composition has been given and encouraged the domestic tourism and hospitality sector. So you can take into this consideration this one. And with this, you can see the lower rates by these GST reforms have made essential goods, raw materials, service more affordable for MSMEs, and they are motivating these enterprises, even startups, to scale up operations, invest in innovations, and compete both domestically and globally. Because if our MSMEs want to compete globally, if they want to increase their competitiveness, the cost is an important aspect. The cost is always compared. You can say the pricing at international level and what is the domestic price. If we can give at lower rate than the international price, then our export can be increased. So we can make our products and services competitive, more competitive, reducing our pricing by considering these GST reforms. So this contribution has been made by the GST reforms, and after coming into overview, or if we take the review of different research papers or different reports and documents, we can come to the conclusion that the impact of GST implementation has not been uniform across the sector, because according to the sectors and their own elements, the impact is different. Then you see the pharmaceutical sector emerged as most positively affected by GST reforms. Especially after 20, there was an increase in demand in pharmaceuticals. And again, this GST reforms benefits that sector. So you can take into consideration this matter. Then the retail businesses consistently reported dissatisfaction across most indicators, whatever about the system. But I think as these reforms 2.0 are implemented, and when they will be familiar, they are also to be take into situation that they can take the benefit. There are some challenges, no doubt, but we have to overcome those challenges, especially digital compliance requirements and managing its administrative complexities, especially for the people in informal sector or micro enterprises, because they have no such a trained staff with them, and because of that it is required to train themselves, because such micro enterprise may have a single person running the business. In that case, the training should be given to them themselves, or how to fill the returns and different compliances are to be made. Then GST reforms, though conceptually sound, economically progressive, it requires continuous refinement to ensure inclusivity and effectiveness. And for that purpose, we can take the policy decisions and effective interventions, like focusing, simplifying again the compliance procedure, enhancing digital accessibility, and promoting the awareness among small business owners. So we can have such different things may be taken into consideration for these GST reforms, and what are the challenges before this MSMEs that may be considered. Compliance burden is one of the challenges, because micro enterprises spend roughly 28.6 hours per month on GST related tasks compared to 15.7 hours for medium sized firms. So you can compare how much time they are spending for the compliances, and how to reduce that time is again the important task before us. Again, one more thing is that digital divide is there. The larger and urban MSMEs adopt quickly this digital transactions or digital literacy, but in remote areas, this digital literacy, again an infrastructure, not only literacy but infrastructure is also required, and accordingly we can make the development step by step, as Madam has presented here, that it is continuous process. So in coming years, I think this system of GST will be user friendly to even micro enterprises, and like all people are using UPI in every sector, in the same manner the digital system of GST will be user friendly in coming future. So it will be useful to all the sectors and all the stakeholders of the industry and trade. With this brief discussion, I conclude my presentation, and I would like to tell before this audience, most of the students are there, with considering this GST reforms. When we are considering this GST reform, is change in business environment, and any change in business environment may create a challenge, or it may provide a boost to the business. And definitely the person who is entrepreneur always convert the challenges into opportunities, and that's why the young generation take this step ahead and take the benefit of such reforms in taxes in India, and they can make a startup come out as an entrepreneur, not only entrepreneur but successful entrepreneur by taking the benefits of these policy reforms. I should thank the Bagalkot University and the Department of Studies in Commerce for inviting me for this particular session as a resource person. I am also thankful to Chairman Sir, Professor R.R. Kulkarni Sir, and Rapport Chair Sir. So, Chalwadi Sir, I am thankful to them for their cooperation for conducting smoothly this session. That this session will be continued with the paper presenters, and one announcement with the permission of Chair I would like to make. In the Department of Commerce and Management, Shivaji University, Kolhapur also, we are going to organize national seminar which is in collaboration with ICSSR New Delhi on 23rd and 24th. And if you are interested, you are always welcome.
Thank you, sir, for the mindful pause regarding the session 2. Will lead the session toward the success.
Thank you very much, Sir, Majan Sir. It was a wonderful session listening to you. You have unleashed all the benefits and the impacts of GST over SMEs. Thank you very much for a wonderful session. We have short bit of time now. We are quickly running into our second part of the discussions. Second part of the discussions is going to be paper presentations. There are 26 paper presenters who have sent their papers in the afternoon session. Now I will be inviting one by one. We can give maximum of 3 minutes time for each paper presenter to present about their paper. And we request you to be very brief over your topic, and then don't waste time in discussing unnecessary things. Start to focus on the core subject of your topic, core part of your paper, and then present it. So each presenter will be invited one by our rapport chair, Chalwadi sir. He will call your name. You will be asked to make a presentation. Be ready in the sequence of your paper. I hand over the mic to Chalwadi sir. Sir, please conduct the paper.
Thank you, sir. We have 1 hour time. 60 minutes divided by 26 members. You will get 2.5 minutes. Preference will be given for those who came from outside places. Those who belongs to Bagalkot University Jamkandi, you present tomorrow. But preference will be given the people who came from outside people. I would like to call Srimati Nikita Bedare and Chetan Dhaga, Bagalkot University Jamkandi, impact of goods and services are agri startups and agripreneurs comprehensive analysis. 2+1. Introduce yourself, say the title, come to the objectives, and come to the analysis part.
Good afternoon, one and all present here. I am Nikita Bedre, from a research scholar from Bagalkot University. Under the guidance of Dr. Chetan Dhaga, I have chosen a title for the presentation, that is the impact of goods and services tax on agri startups and agripreneurs, a comprehensive analysis. So, as we know, our country is moving towards the startup ecosystem, and where agri startups and agripreneurs are contributing to lot. So, how the GST is impacting and what positive impact is there on agri startup and agripreneurs, that I am highlighting here. My research, the methodology which I have used for this paper, it is descriptive and it is based on secondary data I have prepared this paper and presenting. So these are the presentation outlines where I am introducing the topic. Then what are the GST exemption and tax rate structure is there for the agriculture sector. Then what is the registration threshold? What is the input tax credit system is there, and what challenges are facing by the agripreneurs that I am highlighting, and what are the GST2 reforms and changes in taxation that I am highlighting. As we all know, India is an agrarian economy where 16% shares contributing in a GDP, that is from agriculture sector, and 42% of the workforce is contributing employed from the agriculture sector. And GST it has been implemented in 2017, and GST2 reforms it has been taken in 2025. So here there are many opportunities are there for the agriculture sector where GST it has been eliminated the cascading effects, and theoretically it has been given agriculture sector to reduce the input cost and then improving the farmer competitiveness here. So the research objectives, it is examining the structural impact of GST on agri startups across different value chain segments, analyze the exemption provisions, tax rates, and the compliance requirement for the agricultural businesses. Then, what is evaluate availability and implication of the input tax credit for agripreneurs, and analysis of GST2 reforms and their implications for the agripreneurship. So here, the GST rates has been categorized in a three broad level. One, it is the exempted category agriculture products. Second one is the processed agriculture product and agricultural inputs and machineries. So here, for exemption level, primary products are there where fresh fruits, vegetables, cereals.
Madam, come to the objectives.
So these are the objectives for the research. So here, one is examine the structural impact of GST on agri startup across different value chain segments. Where what is the pre-GST rates for the value chain system and what is the post-GST rate and what is the impact on them. So this is the analysis for the that objectives. So here. Product. So this is the impact, the structural change in our GST rates for the agriculture sector. So here you can see for a processed agriculture product, the GST rate has been reduced in the GST reform, and the impact is positive where processed vegetables, fruits, jams, because it has been got reduced to 12 to 18% rate to 5%. It has got reduced for the GST rates and price also got reduced for those products. Then dairy products also it has been reduced from 12% to 5%. Then frozen and preserved meat and marine products also from 12 to 18% to 12%. And even there are products where their rates it has been remained unchanged. Then next for agricultural inputs. Agricultural inputs and machineries, the GST rate it has been reduced. Like for the machineries, what agricultural tires, tractors and all, it was from 12% to 5%. So it has got reduced the cost for those agricultural equipments and inputs in a GST2, which has given the agripreneurship to promote their businesses because of the cost reduction. And here there are so many agripreneurs who are taking the initiative for the sustainable practices and promote the mechanism. The major challenge I wanted to highlight here, with those agripreneurs who are doing the business in exempted supply, they are not able to get the input tax credit because of the system like GST. So that was the cause is there. But there are many opportunities for the agri-entrepreneurs due to the change in the GST to start their businesses in a country manner. So I want to conclude by presentation.
Next, Acharpa Kadu, EBS College, Mudod. Impact of goods and services service tax on MSME employment in India. Please come, sir. Remind, please 3 minutes, 2 minutes presentation, 1 minute for discussion. And it is an open platform to the audience. If you have any doubts on the presentation, please question them. Right?
Okay, good afternoon to the respected dignitaries and faculty members and students. Myself, Ajja Pankadu, Assistant Professor of Commerce at BVS Sri SRPT Arts, Commerce and Science College, Mudod. Sir, with your permission, now I am going to present my paper on the topic the impact of goods and service tax on MSME employment. So, before going to the discussion of the MSME and goods and service tax, I explained the relevance of this topic. So, the study on the impact of goods and service tax on MSME employment is highly relevant for the several reasons. In those reasons, there are main reasons are economic significance, policy implementation, business adoption, long-term impact. So, this paper is prepared based on the secondary data, and the research gap is come to that. So many papers are already presented, but in this paper it highlighted the research gap relating to the employment, especially relating to the MSME employment. So, objectives of the study is to understand the concept of GST and MSME, then understanding the positive impact of GST on MSME employment in India, and also the negative impact of GST on MSME employment in India. So, the research methodology this paper is already told based on the secondary data like relevant literature reviews, richer research papers, published reports and journals, and MSME website. So, the positive impact of the GST is GST brought many unregistered business into the formal economy. So, this helps the small scale business enterprises to get input tax credit, and removal of interstate tax barriers created a unified national market, enabling MSME to expand into multiple states and generate more employment. So, if the interstate trading is increases, obviously employment opportunities also rises. Then the input tax credit system reduces the overall tax burden, then increasing profit and encouraging the business expansion and job creation. So, the last one is the daily essential, and recently the tax rate will reduced on the daily essential goods like agricultural goods and healthcare equipment and goods and ordinary cars. So, this tax rate reduces will increase the number of purchasing. So, they will help the MSMEs to establish more organizations. Then, negative impact of GST on MSME employment is small enterprises face difficulties with monthly GST return filing. Then, in the initial phase of GST implementation, some MSME reduced operations because of higher compliance cost and working capital issues, causing temporary job losses. Then, the GST requires. So, the conclusion, the implementation of GST in India has had a mixed effects on MSME and employment, simplifying tax structure and promoting formalization while creating compliance and working capital challenges. In the long term, GST can strengthen the competitive export markets, generate formal employment, and foster inclusive economic growth, serving as a transformative tool for entrepreneurship and India's vision of a self-reliant, globally competitive economy.
Thank you, sir.
But GST change, rate of change,
Thank you, sir. Dr. Ilavati K, Government Council, Telugu. Then Mrs. Pooja Chaturvedi, KLU Lingaraj College, Belagavi. No. Naik Shivali Umakant and Subramanya Bhatt. Is there? Please go. She is from Goa University. An empirical analysis of impact of goods and services tax on compliance and business performance of micro small organizations in the state of Goa. Please, your time starts now. Next, Madam, if you are prepared, okay. If you are not prepared, I will give a chance later. I will call Kiran S. Malapur. His title is he is from Udur, digitalization of GST compliance in India, opportunities and challenges for MSMEs and the e-commerce ecosystem. So your time starts now.
Good afternoon, respected dignitaries, honoraries and doctors and fellow participants. My research topic is digitalization of GST compliance in India, opportunities and challenges of MSME and e-commerce ecosystem. Okay, GST has been introduced in 2017 for unifying the indirect tax system in India. Earlier there were so many taxes, VAT, excess, entertainment tax, service tax, etc. To unify the indirect tax system, single tax was introduced. The GST is actually a technology-driven tax administration, which is managed through digital goods and service tax network. Okay, the digital tools used there are e-invoicing, e-way bills, online return filing, and digital tax payments. The relevance of digitalization for the MSME and e-commerce ecosystem is it brings the benefits of access to national markets for the MSMEs and improves the financial record keeping and integration of the MSME into formal economy or formal sector. And for those of e-commerce platforms, the transparent online transactions will happen, which will be in the form of integration of platforms like Amazon, Flipkart, and Meesho, etc. It all will be done through GST network. What is the digital tax compliance means? Using the information technology and digital platforms in the regulation of GST, which will ensure transparency and